6675. This was launched 4 years ago along with 7027. Almost got overshadowed by 7027, but quickly established itself as a great all-around product, especially on that tougher acre. It has great shading potential. The other nice thing about this one is if we do have some fields where wet feet might be a problem, this is absolutely one of the best, not only in our lineup, but also the industry for wet feet. $7027. There's probably not a whole lot I can tell you about this one that you don't already know about yourself. As I said, launched 4 years ago. This one caught the eye of everybody, along with our customers, also the industry. It's a great growthy product. It shades well. It stands well. This is what we call landlord corn. It looks great, it yields great, and its disease scores are phenomenal. The key thing in its first year out of launch, we had those heavy rains and then those heavy windstorms for, well, they ran about a week, and there were a lot of products busted up and looking bad. This one just didn't even break a sweat. So definitely put this where your landlord's going to be driving by. Put this on the tougher acre, put this on the best acre. This one literally goes everywhere. The interesting thing about this product is it not only travels well across any agronomic situation, it also travels well south to north. So don't let the 120-day relative maturity scare you off of this product. It does flower and mature quite a bit earlier than your regular 120-day products. Now, the one watch out on this one is if you're used to using a 7027 and then you decide, I'm going to do some corn on corn, so I'm going to use the 7026. The 7026, just because of that addition of the Herculex gene and that Smart Stacks product, it will make it a little bit wetter and it will harvest in moisture a bit more like a true 120-day. But otherwise, this one deserves to be on every farm and on a lot of acres.
All right, then we transition into some of the later maturity that we plant here in southeast Nebraska in this 116, 17 up to 120-day market. Let's talk first about 6675. Little data on it. 70% of the time, plus or minus 4 RM, 981 comparisons. It's got an 8.3 bushel advantage. Think about that. We talked about the yield advantages over the average was 59.82. We talked about some of that same advantage that we had was 64.65. 70% of the time, 981 comparisons with 64.75, 8.3 bushel advantage. Last year it was 6.5 bushels above the average, 40% of the time in the top third, 53% in the top half. So here again, another option, 6675, another good bottom, high fertility, swing for the fences hybrid. You want to watch your pH a little bit on it, but it can work both dry land and irrigated, but here again, we don't have a lot of irrigated in southeast Nebraska. Good top end yield punch with 6675. We talk about the new one in 6794, another new release. So we talk about yield advantage of what we know from the breeders, 6 bushel advantage over 6595. Looks like a hybrid that's got excellent plant health. Looks like it'll work very well in high fertility acres. So again, it'll be kind of a twin to that 6675 acre. Strong agronomics, good stress tolerance. What do we lump stress into? Well, that's usually for dryland capabilities or drier environments. There are always genetics within some of these hybrids that have the ability to handle dryland better. I'd be careful to say that they're drought tolerant. However, we've kind of transitioned in the industry to having hybrids that handle drier weather conditions than we had even 2 or 3 years ago. And then we'll finish with 7027, full 120-day corn. One of the initial hiccups with 7027 from a grower standpoint was, geez, it's 120-day corn. I don't want it. It's going to be too wet at harvest. I'm going to be careful with that. And I would still echo that a little bit. It's not something that you want to put all your eggs in one basket with 7027, even though it's awful hard not to do that, given some of its data. Listen to this. 78% of the time, 852 comparisons so far, it's got a 12.6 bushel yield advantage. So if we want to talk about a hybrid within this maturity range, within Dekalb, that is the most consistent, the highest yielding, 7027 is certainly it. Last year it was 7.9 above the average, 45% in the top third, 83% in the top half. So it's kind of been a horse race here the past 3 years as far as which hybrid yields better. Is it 6088? Is it 7027? Or is it 6435? And they kind of go back and forth. But typically 7027 from a flat yield standpoint is one that can adapt to most all rotations, almost all soil types. The only caveat with 7027 is probably watch a little bit on pH. Good top end yield, which we know. Stalk and root strength is also awful good, and 7027 is also another disease shield hybrid. If you ever wanted to look at a year where you want to evaluate hybrids' natural abilities to fend off foliar infections from gray leaf spot or southern rust, common rust, northern cornleaf blight, this is the year to do it. 7027, 6465, or any of the other Dekalb disease shield hybrids are doing quite well. That doesn't eliminate the ability of fungicides to improve yield. It's not a bad idea to have some genetic tolerance to this if in fact you run out of residual with some of your foliar applications.